Welcome back to the Takeover podcast, coronavirus edition. This is our second attempt at our social distancing podcast, video podcast. How's everybody doing? Let's go around the horn. I'm Alex.
Jesus. I'm doing good. I'm still staying away from people. I'm kind of liking it.
So nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Andy here. I'm out in the public every day, so stay away.
I'm Jim, and homebody for week 3, wrapping up here and doing great. I don't like people.
People don't like you.
Good. We got something we agree on.
I think we all agree. I'm Vince, and I feel the same. I'm a struggling video editor. Please hire me so I don't starve to death. Thank you very much.
Yep, and that's Vince giving us the sweet licks to lead us in our theme music. So let's go around the horn and say what we're drinking. I've got an oldie but a goodie. I've got the 2018. What do we got here? The strawberry rhubarb, New Glarus. You can never go wrong with the strawberry rhubarb. It just gets more jammy as the years go by and fucking delicious. Andy, you just picked up a case of this, didn't you?
I sure did, and it is. It's drinking pretty fantastic right now too.
What you drinking today?
Today I'm doubling up again, so I went with local Wisconsin brewery Ale Asylum with Unshadowed, and then out of Chicago Revolution with Double Barrel VSOD.
Nice.
Nice. Drink through a little bit of the cellar where you're stuck in the house most of the time, even if you're an essential employee.
Ashtray, drink your Cellar.
Yep.
Oh, snap.
What about you, Jesus? What are you drinking?
Well, actually, since I am stuck at home, I've been listening to a lot of wrestling podcasts, and Stone Cold Steve Austin made a beer with El Segundo Brewing in California. So I ordered a case of it. So I got it yesterday. And it's pretty much like a more old school, like the IPAs, more bitter, like that kind of style. It's I think it's really good. Everybody's getting used to that sweetness, more sweet now, citrusy, like the juicy stuff, but it's more of an old school.
Nice.
Go back, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. Jimbo?
All right, drinking something new from Half Acre. Classic Future double dry hop double IPA. It's a big boy at 8.5%, but pretty hazy. Don't know what the hops are, but they're interesting. So there's a little Lake Michigan smell on it that tastes better than it smells. I'm not sure if there's some Sabro in there or some Neo Mexicanos that gives a little funky smell there, but tastes real smooth for 8.5. This could be a problem. Vince, what are you drinking tonight?
I've got a Dark Horse, Plead the Fifth. I think Andy and Alex picked this up for me when they went down to the beer fest down there at Dark Horse. 11%. It's delicious.
No, that would have been 2017 or 2018, right?
The barrel
2016.
Wow.
Wow, God. It's hard to believe that it was that long ago that we did our Michigan beercation and brought back a shit ton of beer and did a crazy episode with you guys.
Episode 3.
Hey, when people ask me about the podcast, I should just start at episode 4.
Honestly. Did not know what we were doing.
Do we still?
We're figuring it out.
Yeah, slowly. Yeah, we'll get there.
All right.
So,
what's the news?
So big news today. Brewers Association released their U.S. top 50 craft breweries, and hometown New Glarus comes in at number 15. So these are breweries by total volume.
which is amazing because they only sell here in Wisconsin. And we drink a lot, yeah.
I think a lot of people come here to get it too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I take it for granted, but yeah, when I go out of town, everybody's, oh, bring some spotted cow, you know? So,
And yet, there's so much other better stuff than spotted cow coming out of New Glarus, right?
Yeah.
I know, but you know how people are, you know?
Yeah,
It's
seriously,
pretty wide.
their souring program I would put up against anybody in the country, anybody in Europe as well. They're real good. They're real
I was
good
just
at what
I was just talking to a buddy the other day about the nuclear sour program, and they are real masters at blending. So they brew many batches and they blend throughout the year. So anytime you get something from their R&D series, even their Raspberry Creek Lambic, it's all blended. So they're really masters at getting a sour over many years.
Have you guys actually been there?
I've been there a couple times. Actually, I've got a great story that goes way back when back in the late.
Was that your story when you at the Great Taste?
No, probably.
No, this goes back to the late '90s when they're still in their tiny little place. That not if you go visit them today, they have this beautiful. I think it's a 30 million plus facility up on the hill. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Awesome.
Absolutely incredible place to go visit and take a little tour. They're still running on giant copper kettles too, which is pretty amazing. But they're massive copper kettles. But back in their old place, their daughter used to help them out on the tours. So my father and I were in Madison for one weekend, and we decided after the wedding that we were out there for to go on some brewery tours. So we hit many of the Madison local places. And after our third place there, we're like, let's go to New Glarus. It's not on the way home at all. So we head on down there and we get in line for our tasting just prior to the tour. And obviously we're on our fourth or fifth place of the day. And I've been really wanting to try some of their darker stuff. You know, I've had the Spotted Cow. I had some of their lighter, their lager that they had. And I wanted to try, I specifically remember the stout that they had just come out with. So I go up to this young lady and say, I would like to have the stout, please. And she's like, no, you cannot have the stout. I'm like, I would like to have the stout, please. She's like, no, you have to start from light and work your way to the dark. And that's the only way I'm going to serve you. Well, you know, my patience at that point was a little thin. I replied back, what are you, a beer Nazi? All I want is the stout. And she's like, you're back to the line. So that's how I got yelled at by the youngest Carrie out there in New Glarus.
Yeah, no, I've been there. I didn't offend anyone when I was there. Just
That's pretty easy for me to offend people.
yeah, but it's definitely a place to go check out. From what I remember, I guess their gift shop or whatever, all the beer was like underneath, like in the garage. Is that still correct? I don't remember.
Yeah, the R&D series is all sold out of the brewery, so it's only sold on site.
Yeah. What's funny is that Spotted Cow, they had that there too, and it was like super overpriced. It's like crazy. Why not just go to the gas station?
A good tip for people out there too, when this is all said and done, is if you're traveling around the country and going to different breweries, bring some New Glarus stuff with you, because you're most likely going to be able to walk into a brewery and swap that for some of their beer at no charge, just because they can't get it down there. And New Glarus is that widely known too.
Yeah. Pro tip. Anything else?
So,
or is this where the wheels come off?
Mexico is starting to come on lockdown, and they are actually closing liquor and beer stores, and there's a massive panic. So here in the U.S., we had toilet paper bought in mass panic. You still can't get like more than a couple rolls. But in Mexico, they're a little late to the party on the lockdown. So they're closing down everything. And there's mass panic around beer sales. So beer and liquor sales. So everyone is absolutely mass panicking everything down there.
Well, they had like their big festival in like Mexico City, right? Wasn't it like 2 weeks ago or something like that? It was like when we were in lockdown, they still had a festival with thousands of people. I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are crazy.
I mean, I can tell you this, just for being in the grocery industry, people freaked out about food, toilet paper, all that. And like Jim is correct, they freaked out about liquor and beer around here too. Just week over week, I mean, liquor sales in 1 week alone was up over 130% over previous year.
So that's crazy. So, I mean, there's some explanation on the toilet paper sales. So there's a clear distinction between commercial toilet paper sales and retail commercial paper sales. But so if now no one is going to restaurants, no one's going to work, so all these commercial sales have dropped. So there's actually a lot more usage at home. With alcohol, I hope no one's drinking on the job, you know. So that I don't quite understand.
This has been the Toilet Paper Podcast.
Your up-to-date toilet paper news. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think we're okay as far as our breweries are concerned right now. We're hoping to schedule an interview with one of the brewers, you know, on the front lines of this entire thing, who can kind of speak to how their business is doing, what they're kind of looking at going forward. I'm sure the brewers are speaking amongst themselves, you know, trying to get advice, trying to figure out who might have some kind of solutions. But right now, from what I've heard, from what I've read, it's business as usual as much as possible.
Well, the breweries, I mean, it's going to be hard to adjust for them. They've all started to-go sales, curbside pickup. There was even in Chicago, they're getting creative where Microphone and Maplewood down there are actually, I think they're swapping out beer they've made and they're doing mixed sales. So so you don't have to travel to each brewery. You can go to one and get, like, I think it's 3 or 4 different kinds of that brewery's beer at the other brewery. So they're going to have to get creative like that. And of course, with as many layoffs and unemployment filings as there have been, there's just a lot less being sold. I saw a post today on one of the Chicago beer trading groups. When's the last time you've seen this much Hot Butcher from last week's release a week later at a liquor store?
Wow.
And also, breweries are starting to do cake sales. Hacienda just is now doing a weekly cake sale at prices that are, as far as I can determine, wholesale prices. Everything eventually, they're juicy pale ale, 5.6%, but quite heavily hopped. $85 plus $15 for the recyclable cake. Wow. So that's $100 for a six-stole.
That's a really good price, man.
That's about $2.50 a pint. So that's a really damn good price.
Wow.
Are people that desperate, hard times type beers, like, or do you think that people are just like, you know what, I need to have my craft beers, I need to have my IPAs, you know, I'll weather this for a couple months, and you know, what do you guys think about that?
Well, I think some people are still going to go out and they're going to get their fresh stuff. I know I did it 2 weeks ago. I went out and picked up some cashmere sweater, and some Eagle Park. But then, I picked up a lot of it. I picked up a couple cases, and I'm going to kind of batten down the hatches for a while. But then I think this is why beer nerds put together beer cellars, right? This is where I think of the old stories in Europe of the monks who were under siege, and they outlasted the guys trying to besiege them for months because they had so much beer. It's liquid bread. This is what people are getting by on, and we're not in those dire situations, but it's nice to know I got some stouts, some real good stuff in the cellar, and I'm still holding a couple good bottles for you guys for when this is all over, so we can crack them together. But yeah, there's some good bottles going down right now.
I hear you, and I think that's what a lot of people are doing. You see a lot of people cracking their stuff, and just taking pictures, and you're seeing, like we're doing, a Skype interview, a Skype podcast. You're seeing Skype and online bottle shares right now, where people are just getting together as a group, doing a bottle share, to themselves, and having a good time. I mean, if you saw our episode from last week, I mean, I was feeling pretty damn good, but I
Couldn't tell.
Smells like, Imperial smells like bean spirit, and a vanilla bourbon county, like, to myself.
Were you drunk last week, Andy? I could not tell. Like that.
Oh, yeah. Just like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a fundamental shift in consumers' tastes coming out of this. We've been drinking, especially the craft beer nerds, very expensive beers, right? I mean, upwards of $20, $25, $30 a 4-pack of pint cans. I think we're going to see a trend towards less expensive styles of beers. I think lagers everyone's always been trying to get lagers and craft lagers to become a thing. I think with the lower price threshold that's going to come out of this, that might really become a thing.
So you're talking like more true to style, right?
Just less expensive, right? Even though it takes time for a lager to ferment, the ingredients are very cheap. It's really just grain and yeast, right? Instead of rare hops that are super expensive or over-fruited sours that, again, fruit puree is super expensive. It's your production costs are 2-3 times what other styles are.
Well, I'd be interested to see how much 350 North sold. I think they had a sale starting at noon today or noon tomorrow, where they have 8 or 10 different beers, and probably 6 of them were slushies, which are extremely expensive to produce. Yeah. I'm interested to see how many of those actually sold. Yeah, it's at that price point what is probably like $25 for a 4-pack. As many people are as laid off right now. I mean, people aren't they can't afford that right now. They got to take care of essentials at home. So what do? And as a brewer, you're stuck, and that stuff was probably already in the works before all this hit.
Yeah.
It's a bummer, man. It's a bummer.
Yep.
So do we have anything else? Vince, you got something?
No, I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I'm trying to just pose questions like what do you think people are going to drink after, during the pandemic or even after? But Jim pretty much answered it. So.
All right, thanks, Jim.
No,
Trying to crush things as soon as we can.
Oh man, what happened with Alex?
He's running out of beer.
Grab another beer. This is taking too long. Does Mary Jo have any questions for us?
No, she left.
I think you're going to see more online video presence from these breweries too. Alex, you're on Facebook. Vince, you're on Facebook. Jesus and Jim are still late to the game on that piece. But
I got my MySpace.
All right. Okay.
Really gonna catch
this one yet? The prickly pear mango slush from Eagle Park.
No.
Wow.
Pretty good.
nice.
I did not really know what prickly pear tasted like. I think I've had it maybe once before in a beer or something, but it's pretty good. Good with the mango.
Probably had this numerous times and didn't even know. Not in a beer form though.
No, it's a pretty distinctive flavor. Pretty distinctive. It's good. It's real good.
Well, like I said, you're going to see more of an online presence from these breweries. Like Max put out that statement from Eagle Park with their first batch that came out of the new brew house in Muskego, saying that they're going to have more of an online video presence now, and they're just going to have fun with things. and gave a shout out to what's his name, Tyler Bailey. He loves to chug. Actually, went down to Pips with him a couple of weeks ago before all this craziness happened, and slammed a beer. And we're just gonna have fun with this. People need to still come out and support craft beer, and we all need to be in this together and work through it, and stay safe, but still drink local. And I think you're going to see more of a return to that, where people aren't seeking out more of these beers in other cities, because they're going to support their local breweries that survive however long this bullshit lasts.
Yeah.
And that's an issue with states still regulating much of their own brewery systems. Wisconsin here doesn't allow for online sales, unlike other states. So hopefully this will change some of those ideas and break some of that political sway that parts of the three-tier distribution system have. So, including just breaking news here, Perrin is pushing No Rules Day to online. So you can order your No Rules online and then pick it up instead of having to stand in line, which I believe is normally the case.
Well, you can get the Tampa Bay Beer Week was such low attendance this year because of the craziness. You can get the full line of Sunday through Saturday stouts from Cycle on Tavor right now for $250.
Wow.
Should probably get on that.
I was just going to ask, have you guys talked to any of our local breweries here to see how everybody's doing in terms of sales and stuff? Like, Kyle from 1840, the guys at Eagle Park, are they still doing well? Or because I know Eagle Park has the new brewery coming in, right? And so
I think that's going to be a focus of ours going forward, is trying to get some of these guys onto the podcast, onto the video series here, and just kind of give us an idea of what they're going through. I think people want to hear it from their mouths and not just from ours. So I starting even next week, I think we're going to try and get at least one brewer on, maybe one brewer a week, kind of tell their story. There's enough guys around Milwaukee that we're connected with, enough guys around Chicago. So I think this could be an important piece that we can play as far as a silly podcast about beer, kind of bringing some attention to the to the victories and the hardships that brewers are going through right now.
Okay.
I agree. We definitely need to start reaching out. I mean, we have plenty of contacts that I think would be more than willing to do something like this in a time like this. Because they're doing everything they possibly can to promote themselves on social media, because that's really the only outlet for them to generate sales right now. It's online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and get people to come out to the location for curbside pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Really all
But
they can do.
that's the other part, though, is it's a bit of a tightrope act, because you want people to come and buy your beer. Like we talked about in the last episode, you don't want to be solely dependent on the distributors, right? Because you make so much less that way. But at the same time, you don't want to have a huge, toppling Goliath assassin release right now, because that's too many people coming together. There's no way that you can promote the social distancing when you have that many people in a small space. So people are just kind of figuring it out as they go along, I think.
Have there been is there a release during this time that is kind of teed up? I mean, I guess I'm just wondering why would someone even have a release now, even if you could get it online? I would think people don't want to do that. I mean,
all of them have delayed their major releases, including Top.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Toppling Goliath, they bring that up because they just teased it online yesterday or the day before that the Assassin release, there was going to be more info coming soon, which is great. It gets people's interest and everything, but realistically, I don't know if anybody can put a timeline. I mean, if we're talking about pushing back the Olympics and pushing back all these sports seasons, I think the question has to be asked: how far back are some of these beer releases going to get pushed? And
It's fine for Toppling Goliath to push back Assassin, but we're seeing some of the smaller breweries still trying to find ways that they can do releases. So Component, friend of the show, is unable to, being in their specific location in Lincoln Warehouse, unable to do curbside or even takeouts, is paired with a local restaurant, the Newport, to do crawler sales and some cans, so you can order through the Newport.
nice.
Awesome.
So small places are trying to do what they can, but it's definitely trying times for everyone.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us for this week. So for me, for Alex,
Jesus?
I'm Jim. I'm Jim. Jim. Vince, lead us out.
All right, here we go. Oh, I lost my audio.
I'll tell you what. Should we just do a little sing along with our outro music about?
Hold on. What are we gonna do?
About no more
Oh,
beer?
I'm all out of beer.
What is No More Beer? God, I don't even remember the song.
Like
No more beer.
beer.
No
No
more beer.
beer. No more beer for you.
Just play this regular song. God damn it.
Cheers.